Dad,
Honey, what's wrong?
I got in an accident.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna call an advocate and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do, or...?
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day! And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
You are not Oklahoma State bad. And listen, I like the passion of fans. But before I tell you why Mike Gundy should not be fired today, I'll let my fan, whoever this cat is,
random dude on Twitter,
rando bro,
random Poke fan,
we'll let him describe it for you.
I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. There's no point to, because this team is just hot ass. They're terrible. It makes no sense. It's inexplicable. Casey Dunn, Brian Nardo are both equally as bad. Alan Bowman isn't good. Zane Flores is either hurt, he isn't any good, or Mike Gundy just hates us all.
Yeah, Mike Gundy hates you all. How long have I been telling you that?
Yeah, I mean, we know this.
Do I get, from the hyenas out there, do I at least get some credit for saying, I think I told you back at Media Day 2 years ago that Mike Gundy hates Oak State fans? We don't need Oklahoma. We don't want to play Oklahoma. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Our entire brand and football, identity is tied up in Oklahoma.
It's true. Or was true.
It is true because you don't have an identity now. But this cat comes out and he listens to the show, right?
Obviously.
I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. There's no point to, because this team is just hot ass. They're terrible. It makes no sense. It's inexplicable. Casey Dunn, Brian Nardo are both equally as bad. Alan Bowman isn't good. Zane Flores is either hurt, he isn't any good, or Mike Gundy just hates us all.
Yes, he does. He hates all of you.
I just want to point out, that's only 30. That's 30 seconds of a 4.5 minute rant that this dude went on in one take. Like, that's how pissed off Poke fan is right now.
And I am going to go back to this clip right here. This isn't even the Ollie Gordon, it's okay that you got a DUI. Who hasn't done
1,000 times.
This clip right here. Ask yourself, is this guy qualified to be a head coach at a program the magnitude of Oak State?
That's what I told the players. There's no negotiating now. Portal's over. All negotiations history. Now we're playing football.
You can enjoy.
That was a huge mistake.
Because this team is just hot ass.
I'm telling you now, I do not believe that Oak State should fire Mike Gundy. Even if they don't win another game this season, he gets at least another year. If you are not having a critical conversation in his office today about the future trajectory of the Oak State football program, you're doing it wrong. I am again telling you, and listen, I know that we have ad nauseum talked about Mike Gundy on this show, and Pokes fans, I understand why you think I hate Mike Gundy. It's not personal to me. And it's what I tell you every day on this show. Take your emotions out of it. Has Mike Gundy done a good job in the last decade of building a championship caliber football program? He has not. Because you don't have Oklahoma to blame for things anymore. They're going to play a huge football game of consequence this weekend against Texas. Are you? No, because your season's over. There are no more games of consequence for you. That's the sad part about Oklahoma State football currently. Your season, this season, ended when you got your ass stomped by Texas in the Big 12 championship game last year. That's where this current season ended. Because what did you do? You did nothing. Oh, Texas isn't going to be here. Why do I need to go and find a better quarterback? Oh, Texas isn't going to be here. Why do I need to go upgrade my offensive line? Oh, Texas isn't going to be here. And we're not going to play Oklahoma. So why do I have to go and do anything different than I've done for the last 9 years? Well, the answer is you didn't have to. So you didn't. But what you did do is you defended Ollie Gordon getting DUIs. You said that the negotiations are over in NIL. And you promptly have come out and embarrassed the history and tradition of Oklahoma State football. And I will tell you again, the same thing that I have said for 2 full seasons now on this show. You have all the money and all the resources and all the excuses. That's what you're living on. You're not talking about that you're well funded. You're not talking about the fact that you should be a dominant NIL program. You're not talking about the fact that Mike Gundy's not the guy who you've all, as Polk fans, said is some icon and some national championship caliber coach. You're not talking about that. You're making excuses. It's the official's fault. It's this guy. It's that guy. Stop with the excuses and let's get real about where Oklahoma State football is. Nowhere. You're irrelevant. That should tell you right there. You're irrelevant. How does that feel? How does that rest on your chest this morning? When you got beat by a program that's been calling for their head coach to be fired for 2 full years now. Neil Brown needs fired. And they just beat your ass. And it really wasn't ever that close. How does that feel today, Oak State fan? And I hope it stings. And I hope it doesn't feel good. And I hope you're coming to the realization that if Mike Gundy is not forced to terminate both of his coordinators, because that defense is as responsible for your issues as whatever that's supposed to be with a quarterback and a running back. I think we call it offense, but not really.
9 of 14 on third down as a defense.
Come on.
Gave up 9.
Come on.
You couldn't get off the field. And again, it's like, you know, I just don't know. Like, look, I understand that there's some of this where it's like, hey, you're an Oklahoma State fan. You know, you're going to be really hesitant to be real about the team. You would call it Oak State fan would call it negative. I'm calling it real. Hey, this is the situation, right? Like, I would agree.
Yes.
You're relevant. Like, your head coach is sputtering. Both coordinators should be fired. The fact that Ollie Gordon is a nobody this season is a lot on Ollie. He's obviously responsible for his performance, but a ton of it is on this coaching staff, and a ton of it is on Casey Dunn. And I think that ultimately, as an Oklahoma State fan, and this is kind of the angle I said, you know, that I brought out, you know, with the whole Michigan thing 6 months ago. You're Oklahoma State, man. You're a great institution. You are a Big 12 staple. Like, you could be a national championship contender.
Should be.
Agreed. But here we are talking about, hey, yeah, our season's pretty much over. You know, like this random clip that we've been playing, this fan clip. This dude goes on to say, well, we're all thinking, is Oak State even going to be bowl eligible? Are you going to be a 6-win team? Because I think you have to start asking that question. And no, I don't think it's outlandish. I don't think it's like a red ass hot take, you know.
I don't either.
You're hating take. I think it's a legitimate question, because typically with most football teams, you know, painting with a broad brush, you're either a defensive team or you're an offensive team, right? Like, one side of the ball is usually better than the other side of the ball. And you can, like with Utah, hey, you're a defensive minded team that just kind of has to scrap it together on offense right now. Right. But with Oklahoma State, you're not good on offense. You're unimaginative. You're boring.
Do you guys understand that Ollie Gordon is not top 50 in rushing?
How is that possible?
Here's some of the guys that have better rushing numbers. Damian Taylor from Troy. Fluff Bothwell. This cat's name is Fluff Bothwell.
Dude.
From Directional, Alabama. Has better numbers than you. Darrell Robinson from UConn. Kane Udo from Army. Better numbers than you. Tyler Huff from Jacksonville State. Better numbers than you. Savion Red from Reno, Nevada. Jaden Nixon from Western Michigan. All of those cats are far better. How about some of the guys that have double the production almost. You look at guys like DJ Giddens, who is sharing the ball at K-State. DJ Giddens. You look at Le'Veon Moss at Texas A&M. It's Oak State fan always gets on me about my Taj Brooks take. But is there any question Taj Brooks is the best running back in the conference?
No.
He is the best running back in the Big 12, and he ran Tech to a victory this weekend.
And the really sad thing is, I don't even think that Taj is the most talented back in the conference. I think Ollie Gordon is the most athletic, talented running back in the conference right now. The problem is that he is playing on a team that somehow, some way, after a Big 12 championship game appearance last year, is just, I don't even know what the proper label would be. Like, unimaginative
disarray,
is a great label for the offense, but they're just a mess. And I don't know. I guess my big thing with Oklahoma State is I don't know how you were Big 12 championship game material last year, and now we're just like bottom of the barrel this year.
Again, you don't fire Mike Gundy, but I'm really hoping whoever he is accountable to, if there is such a thing at Oak State, that Mike Gundy is accountable to somebody. I hope there's critical conversations happening yesterday and today, because I don't know how you continue to do this at Oklahoma State. You deserve better than that.
Yeah.
You deserve way better than that. All right, let's get to you. Less of us, more of you. 20 minutes from the NFL. Let's run through your comments presented by our good friends at Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy app in the business. Download it on your phone right now. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new account at Prize Picks. MONTY Monty. Open up a new account. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more. It is the best daily fantasy promotion I've ever seen. Some of us had a really good weekend.
Yeah.
On Prize Picks?
Yeah.
I did not. I should just give up the ghost. You had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, 2 for 3 on the NFL. I don't know what I was thinking with Justin Fields. He had a demon on Prize Picks for 224.5 passing yards. I thought,
it's the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Yeah,
that's what you were thinking.
That's what I was thinking, but no, didn't come through. But overall, good weekend, man. You know, one got my money back plus some. Like, we're in a good spot.
So when you look at how you have matriculated to maturity.
Yeah.
I just like using big words. When you look at how you have really, you've become kind of a successful Prize Picks player now.
Yeah, I go on runs. Like, typically I'll go like 4 or 5 wins in a row, and then, I'll put together a couple losses. But I would say, generally speaking, I use your formula, the old reliable. You play 2 out of 3, or you play a 3 and you do flex play. So you only have to win 2 out of 3. And the cool thing with that is Prize Picks. Once you get into it, you start to understand, okay, I need to basically, for you to win on Prize Picks, you need to find one goblin, which is a very easy win. That's like a really low barrier of entry. Hey, this guy should really knock that out every time. And then you need to find one more that is not a goblin, just a standard pick that you feel really good about. And then from there, you can kind of risk assess on the third one. So, like, as an example, over the weekend with this pick we're talking about, I had Derrick Henry on a goblin.
How about another run? What was that, 56 yards last night? Dude.
So I had him for on a goblin for half a rushing or receiving touchdown for Derrick Henry. So he hit that. I had Jaden Daniels on just a straight up line, no goblin or demon, straight up. 211.5 passing yards. He hit that at 238 passing yards. And then the Justin Fields one that I lost, I had him on a demon at 224.5. So I felt really good about the first 2. Took a risk on Justin Fields. It didn't come through, but that's okay. Still won. And that's what I'm talking about with Prize Picks, man. It's legit like 50 to this promotion where you start a new account, promo code Monty, $5 deposit gets you $50 back.
It's wild.
You can legit play on that money the entire season. And I always point this out too, because it's unique to Prize Picks. I don't know of any other platform that's doing it right now. If somebody leaves a game injured and you had that person, they do not hold that against you. It reverts back to, like in my case, I've had it happen where I'll have the 3 selections and one guy gets hurt.
Yes.
Then it's just a two selections. They don't count that as a loss.
Here's a question for you. Derek Carr, 213.5 against the Chiefs passing defense, which is top half in the NFL. I think that I'm taking Patrick Mahomes for more than 236.5. I think
that's in New Orleans, right?
It is no, it's in Kansas City.
In Kansas
in
City.
Kansas. But here's the problem: who's catching footballs? Because without Rashee Rice,
yeah,
they're going to have to go into their depth chart, and old man Kelsey ain't that same guy.
Well, the question with the Derek Carr selection on Prize Picks for this game,
yes,
it's just a very simple question. Do you think Derek Carr on the road can eclipse that number in a tough environment in Arrowhead? And I agree, Kansas City is not as good as that defense is not as good as it used to be. I completely agree with that, but it's no cakewalk going to Arrowhead and doing that.
I would have to say that if you take him, don't you have to take Chris Olave?
Yeah,
I think you do.
But you can't. I don't think you can take both of them in one selection. I don't think they let you do that.
I just did. I am taking Patrick Mahomes more than 236.5 tonight. Chris Olave more than 60 yards, and Derek Carr more than 214 yards.
I'm going to take Derek Carr and a Goblin at 199.5. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, then I'm going to go Derek Carr on a heater.
Okay.
I'm not.
Xavier Worthy for 1 touchdown.
Well, that's the other one. If you don't take Olave, don't you have to take Xavier Worthy?
You have to.
Yeah, I'm flex playing that.
I am baseball tonight too, by the way.
There is a lot of baseball tonight.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, are you guys? Yeah. Anyway. All right. That's my Prize Picks for tonight. Go and get it. Use the promo code Monty. Open up a new account at Prize Picks. Download the app. Open a new account. Promo code Monty. Deposit $5. They'll instantly give you 50 more. Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy app. An hour of NFL talk coming up here in 15 minutes. First, let's go with, as always, if you want to get your comments read, you pay, because so you always get read. Look at that. Lopes fan Gabe, a member for 21
Let's go,
months.
baby.
21 months. Let's go. Thoyer fans are garbo.
Yeah, we got to talk
We got to talk about
dude.
that.
I
We will talk
agree.
about that. That was embarrassing last night. That was embarrassing. And my San Diego Padres, I am a casual observer of the San Diego Padres. Absolutely just stomped the Dodgers. Shocking last night with Flaherty. Maybe Flaherty's not the guy that we all thought he was going to be.
Dad,
Honey, what's wrong?
I got in an accident.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to call an advocate and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do? Or...
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day. And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Mike Gundy story. Did anybody see what Feinbaum said about Mike Gundy? We talked about it on the show the other day. Did you guys see Mike Gundy off the rails talking about agents, players, and NIL?
That's what I told the players. There's no negotiating now. Portal's over. All negotiations history. Now we're playing football.
You can enjoy
just coaching and playing football.
Conference and a 12-team playoff, and everything being so different, just the newness of it all.
Yeah, and you know the business side of what we do now is we have to have those conversations with them. You know, tell your agent to quit calling us and asking for more money. It's non-negotiable now. Going to start again in December. So now we're able to direct ourselves just at football, and that part is fun because there's been so much other stuff going on. It's been hard to really focus on football.
I just don't understand that. And I know I said this the other day. I think it's one of the stupidest things he's ever said. It's not
Only
up there
second.
with DUIs and stuff.
Yeah.
But do you understand the message you are sending to guys like Ollie Gordon? Do you understand the message you are sending to players that might be in the portal? Because you can get on me for ripping Mike Gundy, and I do it on a regular basis. I think the guy is one of the biggest frauds as in terms of resumes that we have in college football. The guy doesn't win at the highest level, yet he is lauded as a god. This is why he doesn't win at the highest level. Feinbaum made a great point. You're irrelevant without Oklahoma. Well, where have you heard that before? And I'm not a Feinbaum fan, to be sure. We just talked about this yesterday.
Right.
But when he agrees with me, I think he's the greatest college football pundit in the world.
That's why we have Feinbaum.
But I think he's actually got a point here. Oklahoma was Oklahoma State. Oklahoma leaving the conference, as I've said repeatedly, damages Oklahoma State. Because Oklahoma State's not a draw. You're not excited to watch Oklahoma State football. Stillwater is not a destination. So when you come out and you rip agents and you rip players over NIL, who are you, Dabo Swinney?
Seriously. Well, what's the difference with
But
Dabo? The difference is, at
Dabo
least-
doesn't say it out loud most of the time.
Well, and Dabo can say that he's won a national championship.
Why would you say this out loud? And again, I know that you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about Mike Gundy, but I will just continue to say, I don't understand why Mike Gundy talks so goddamn much.
Yeah, I think he talks so much because there's not repercussion. There's not going to be, nobody's going to say to Mike Gundy, hey, probably shouldn't be talking about, that you had 4 beers at the bar 1,000 times in your life and you were just luckier than Ollie Gordon, or that, that now at this time of the year, we're just focused on football, that have your agent stop calling us, negotiations start back up in December when the season's over. And maybe that's the most telling portion of what he said, because theoretically the season shouldn't be over in December for you if you're an elite squad, right? Like if you're competing at the highest level of college football, which Oklahoma State has access to, they just don't. You would be competing well into January, obviously. So that's where I say, hey, not only is this a bad look from an NIL standpoint and obviously the portal, but it's also kind of telling me, hey, this is how you view your season. Hey, it's August. Obviously we're rolling into September here in the next 10 days or whatever. And, season's over in December. So call me then. That's what I think, you don't always have to be red ass Mike Gundy. Sometimes it's okay to say he should have said something like, hey, you know what? We have these conversations and it's an ongoing process. Just give a coach speak answer. There's no reason to be so red ass about it.
Yeah.
But that's who he is. It's who he is. That's
who he is.
And I think it's part of why, to your point, he's lauded as this god, this figure.
But this QR code thing on the helmets, does anybody really think that's going to make a difference? Do you know how difficult it is? I guess you could freeze frame it. Do you know how difficult it is to pull a QR code off of a live event? Do you know the conversion rate and how low conversion rate on QR codes that are not stagnant, so on a sign sitting in a concourse? Those QR codes do well. I think this is a neat little toy. Putting a small QR code on the back of your players' helmets, I don't know. I am probably too biased against Mike Gundy, but this is more nonsense. And if you're the Big 12, what does Oklahoma State represent to you? What is the importance of Oklahoma State football? See, now I think it's absolutely paramount that they win. I think you need them on that wall. You don't want them on the wall. You need them on that wall.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You need Oklahoma State to not be good. You need them to be elite.
Pick up your weapon and stand post.
Yeah, you need them to be elite. Who are you, Tim Walls?
Yeah.
You need them to be elite. And if they're not, Texas Tech, Joey McGuire, we were just talking about it. You need them to be elite.
But what would tell us that they will be elite? That's
Nothing.
the thing.
At neither institution should we believe that Oak State or Texas Tech are going to win the conference this year. I don't see it with Oklahoma State. And again, I know Okie Light fan gets all pissed off when I say it. You don't have a quarterback. You don't.
And your very defense of your program is that you're in the conference game every year. You're in the conference championship game every year. You're competing for the conference championship every year. But what's the difference? And this is the Oklahoma angle coming back again, right? You've always been the underdog trying to take down the juggernaut in OU or Texas. That's been your role in the conference. But now that those two are gone, now it's like, hey, it's your turn to step up. There's a void. Who's going to fill it? Well, unfortunately, I don't believe it's going to be Stillwater and Gundy and his mullet.
Stillwater.
I think it's going to be Kyle Whittingham and the Utah Utes. And again, I'll keep saying it. And people questioned me the other day, but I don't think it's great for the Big 12 if Utah just comes in and wins the conference. That's not a great look. Like,
no, it's not.
You need, like you said, it would be nice if Okie Light or Tech or even K-State, Kansas won the conference title. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be really interesting to see how it all plays out in Stillwater. Mike Gundy's got to stop talking.
The other thing I would add to that point right there, if you're going to talk, then you need to win. Because Feinbaum's saying hey, why would you want to go and play for Mike Gundy? That's the exact point. If you're going to talk this much, you got to be a head coach that wins at a really, really high level, because then kids would want to go and play for you. It's the value's out of proportion. You can't be a red ass with the media and not win national championships or be in the playoff regularly. Because if you're not going to be NIL portal guy and you're not going to be in the playoff regularly, why would someone want to come and play for you?
Yep. Sean Rollins says Jake gave Monty the suds. Yep. Yeah, it's going to happen. Big Blue Horses. FSU is a colonoscopy without anesthesia. Wow. Overhyped, overindulged crybabies. They could go winless, and that still wouldn't be good enough. Go Gators. Well, there you go. Go Gators.
See, at least you embrace the fact that you're a Gator fan. I can appreciate that.
Sean Rollins says, Paul Lip Balm. Don't disagree. Coco Von Coconut. I want you guys to ease up on Michigan. They never cheat, never lie, never steal. Just ask Jim Harbaugh. I mean,
obviously,
who would
cheating, lying, and then playing the victim?
Who would ever do that?
Doesn't get any more red, white, and blue than that.
I know another coach that does not win at the highest levels that is lauded as a great coach. Oh, do tell, please. San Diego State Glenn, Mike Gundy is like J.D. Vance answering Jake Tapper questions on CNN last night. That was awkward.
Yeah.
Did anybody see Pete Buttigieg last night joking about going on Fox? So again, little old Monty over here. So Pete Buttigieg routinely goes on Fox News and beats ass. He is absolutely dominating them. He's like, "Hi, I'm Pete Buttigieg. You might recognize me from Fox News." Which was, okay. Good morning, everyone. I think Miami could take FSU this year. The U got a talent upgrade. Hell yeah, they did. Welcome to the nightmare. Gundy has some liquid courage during that interview.
I just think the guy doesn't care because he doesn't have to care.
I don't think he cares at all.
He doesn't have to care. They're not going to do anything.
That was a DUI joke, by the way, which is funny, not funny, but funny. Mike Smith, Jimbo sitting back with his millions and probably sends yearly thank you cards to A&M. Right? I think those deals are dead. I don't think we'll ever see. You'll never see a Jimbo Fisher type buyout. It's too expensive and schools can't afford it anymore.
Yeah, I mean the rev sharing portion of the new model just makes it so you can't buy coaches out the way you used to. And the sad part is, when I first saw that conversation come about earlier this week, the program I'm thinking of right off the bat, and that's going to be Baylor with 8 Ball, right? Is Baylor not buying out Dave because they are budgeting for rev sharing? And if that's the case, I understand it. But at some point, you whether it's Baylor or anybody else, at some point You have to be more competitive.
I don't disagree with that at all. Would not mind living that life. Yeah, me either. Sign me up. Sign me up. Maury Alvarez. Gundy gets as much pushback in Stillwater as Ryan Smith gets in Utah. Yeah, not a drop. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Lopes fan Gabe, why stop at QR codes? Let's change nameplates on unis to players' Cash App handles. If it works for drunk co-eds at college game day broadcasts, it's good for players.
Cashless.
Yeah, I think we're watching. We're watching a revolution. And I know that sounds dramatic, and we're watching a revolution. Players, this is now a players program. Who are you, Arizona? Excuse me. Who are you? You, Arizona?
Program.
This is a player's game now. And it never was that. The thumb has been lifted off by the old white guys that have billions. And you're not wrong. I mean, they're already doing it at Colorado, right? Their social media handles are on their jerseys now. And, it's fine. Mike Smith, West Virginia did not fire Neil Brown prior to last season because of the buyout. And trust me, again, I say, I can't remember where we were. I think we were in St. George or something, or Las Vegas.
St. George, yeah.
And there was a lady in a West Virginia shirt, and she did not want to talk about Neil Brown. She did not want to talk about it. I mean, it was one of the greatest awkward moments of moonshine that we've ever had on this show. But I think it is. I think it is phenomenal. All right, hour number 2 of the Monty Show, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Canyons Golf in Park City. Love our guys. Can't wait. It is already August 22nd. Just 2 months left in prime golf season. We are going into prime golf weather. You got to get up to Canyons Golf in Park City. I love it. I love playing there. I love watching the ball fly. Was using the Mevo flight scope last night in the backyard, getting ready for a big weekend of golf. Bro, I hit the best 5-iron I have ever hit last night. 238 yards on a 5-iron for me is phenomenal. Like, I am hitting my long iron so well. I do wish that I had a 3 and a 4-iron, because I think I would, as well as I am hitting my long irons. Last night, Sunday, I hit a pretty good 5-iron as well. I hit a 220 something. So
yeah,
I love it. And when you're up at Canyons Golf at Park City Mountain Resort in Park City, just watching the ball fly is something fantastic. Get to Park City Mountain Resort. It is an awesome experience. Go play one of the best rounds of golf. You'll enjoy it. It's beautiful. Wildlife on the course, the deers routinely see things like moose, deer, fox. Like, it's a beautiful environment. And then you go have a world-class dining experience in the Park City Mountain Canyons Village. It's awesome.
When you've been injured in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Insurance companies don't always play fair, but we can keep them in check. Most cases settle out of court, but we'll take your case to trial if necessary. You deserve an advocate.
The Big 12, because I think some of the storylines out of the Big 12 this week, I look at Oklahoma State, and I don't know how many more different ways that I can tell you it has been long past due to hit the panic button in Stillwater. We talked about this all summer long, and I know that we take a lot of heat on this show for talking about this team just being untalented. There is a lack of talent, especially at the skill positions. I do not buy that somehow these wide receivers, as the legendary Oak State James wants to say, it's the best wide receiver room in the country. It's not close. It's not. You don't have a quarterback. I don't know what is wrong with Ollie Gordon. I don't know where this fighting and chipping and pushing and shoving with guys who shouldn't be able to even speak with you, but yet you want to have officials warning you. I mean, you're looking at the head official telling Ollie Gordon over the weekend to settle down. Like, what are you doing at Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I mean, not anything that you should be doing. And you know what's incredible is you look at Gundy, and it's like I was surprised that the messaging was,
oh, officiating and this and that. And the messaging wasn't, hey, like, we have to be better. Hey, like, our execution needs to be better. Hey, by the way, maybe we should get a little more creative on offense. Hey, by the way, maybe we should be better in these different areas. But what does Mike want to do? Mike wants to roll up in the post game, and he wants to talk about how, the officials cost them 3 seconds and, essentially were the reason that they went to overtime in this game.
No, the reason you went to overtime in this game is because Taylor Green and Jaquindon Jackson tore up a pretty average defense. And I think that when we talk about the teams that got exposed this weekend, I don't think there's any doubt Notre Dame is up there. But I also don't think there's any doubt that Oklahoma State, for the second week in a row, struggled to win a football game. And you're now 2-0, and I think you're very lucky to be 2-0. And I think it simply is because Alan Bowman is not a very good quarterback. I honestly, if you had Taylor Green, if he was wearing an Oklahoma State uniform, you'd have won that game by 40 points. But because it's Alan Bowman and he makes terrible decisions, and again, what did I tell you about Alan Bowman? He throws for 326 yards on a 6.8 yard average. He just is not that guy. And you look at the wide receivers, and like DeJon Stribling, 4 catches for 38 yards is not the stuff of national champions. It's not the stuff of college conference champions. And then after the game, my least favorite coach in the country, who I think Mike Gundy is one of the most overrated guys in all of college football. And I'll continue to say it. If you want to win a national championship at Oak State, Mike Gundy can't be your head coach. End of sentence. That's the whole take. When this team eventually wins a national championship, Mike Gundy won't be the head coach because he makes excuses, he complains, and he takes zero accountability. Zero accountability. He holds his players to zero accountability. And then when they underperform, and they woefully underperformed against Arkansas, he wants to blame everybody but his players.
Steve Shaw is the head of the officiating. He needs to fix it. He needs to get them all in one room and everybody has the same rule. They messed something up. I'm not sure what they messed up. I don't really care. But all I know is they gave us a 3-second play on a 9-yard run. And that's where I had an issue with it. They said when the ball was blown dead after the play at 3 seconds after the snap. There's no way. I mean, maybe it was. I've been wrong before, but I'm going to guess it was a 6-second play. Okay, I'm good that you're going to restart the 40, but it wasn't 143. It should be about 139. And here's what's interesting in football. They said, Coach, it's only 3 seconds anyway. And I said, every second counts. Do you realize how many seconds there were left when they tied the game? 2. So I'm just saying, I mean, they said, okay, well, every second counts. Okay, really? It's only 3 seconds, Coach? Well, there was 2 left. Worked out, but it is what it is.
So what did the 2 seconds matter? And again, if you had a quarterback, if you had a defense, we wouldn't be worried about 3 seconds. And if your argument is, well, there were 2 seconds, so then you're telling me that they wouldn't have kicked the field goal? This is all nonsense. Oak State's not a conference championship football team. They don't execute. They don't play defense. And Ollie Gordon is not in the right headspace. That's as simple as I can put it.
Day.
Like you look at his performance last year to this year. Is he a guy that runs for 2.9 yards a carry against Arkansas?
No.
Apparently he is. Because you look at his performance this year, and it is not scintillating. It is not. I mean, he has under, what is he got? He ran for 49 yards on 17 carries. And if they don't go to overtime, he doesn't score a touchdown. The Big 12 is in trouble because that team's not good.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing in this game might have been the attitude about it that Oklahoma State brought to the game. I mean, I'm flipping around between all these games over the weekend, and I'm watching parts of this game, and I'm like, dude, like, where's the fire? Where is the where is the game record that was known as Ollie Gordon last year? Where is that? Because Oklahoma State's always been a team that's like kind of edgy and like, that's how they've gone about winning a lot of games, which is fine. I don't even have a problem with that. But if that's going to disappear in this just, best running back in the country candidate is going for 2.9 against Arkansas, like it just tells me everything I need to know about where this program is at. And again, wind the clocks back to media day. This is why media day was such a problem, because it sets a bad precedent for the season. It sets the wrong tone for the season when you can't build momentum out of media day. Why do you think Utah's doing so good? Why do you think some of these other Big 12 schools are doing so good? Well, it starts at media day. You have good media day. You're strong messaging. You feel good. You head right into week 0, week 1, and you get your first win, and then you're off and running. But that's not what this team's been able to do.
Well, and then there's Colorado. And I don't think any of us thought that Colorado, or at least none of us on this show, thought that Colorado was going to be, something of a world beater. I think we all were wondering, would they go to a bowl game, right? We've talked about 6 being the mark. And then you absolutely go to Nebraska, and you handled your business defensively. That's probably the most shocking part of this game, is that there's no question Colorado is better defensively. There's no question in anybody's mind. You scored 10 points, and you look at the numbers on offense for Colorado. You only had 15 first downs. You had 260 total yards. That offense that is capable of 500 yards a week only put up 260 yards of total offense. And again, and I'm not sure that he's going to survive Shedeur Sanders. But again, you have an offensive line who outside of Seton just isn't capable. And now Shedeur Sanders has taken heat because he said as much.
I mean, how many times did Rowley get touched?
You said what?
How many times did Rowley get touched? They was able, like, of course, whenever you're able to run the ball consistently, and whenever you're able to, then that opens up the pass, But it's just like you got to understand, like, what your team good at. So it's like, why would we keep running the ball if, okay, we out there and we get in a situation where it's a must get and we don't get it?
Right. Are those kind of 4th and 1 conversions that haven't gone your guys' way in the last couple? Is that kind of play into everybody's mind? Is that kind of something on your mind when thinking about advancing the ball and whatnot?
Nah, I'd rather, if we're going to go down, I'd rather go down swinging, honestly, because I know I could throw the best punch.
First of all, I don't think he threw his offensive line under the bus. I think he made a very good point. How many times did Dylan Raiola get sacked? None. How many times did Shedeur Sanders get sacked? 6. I mean, everybody ripping Shedeur Sanders this morning because he talked about how often he got hit. I have no problem with that. If we're in a program where we're talking about ultimate accountability, that's what ultimate accountability is. And he's not wrong. You look at the way that front at Nebraska dominated that offensive line.
Yeah.
And you start looking at the total offensive numbers, you're starting to get the idea that offensive line in Boulder is a huge problem.
Yeah, it's their biggest liability. It's the beginning and the end because, again, even last week, or 2 weeks ago, technically now, against North Dakota State, like you saw that when they were successful, he had 3.5, 4 seconds. And when they weren't successful, he had about 1.5 seconds. And that's really the difference in the game. And I'd also like to point out, when we talk about this game, everyone's like, oh, well, what do you mean the defense was good? They gave up 28, almost 30 points. Well, no, actually, the defense only gave up 21 points because he threw a pick 6 in that situation because once again, he was getting grilled in his end zone.
And he clearly heard footsteps on that throw out. Like, I mean, that's just not a throw that Shedeur makes. And I don't know what to think about Colorado. Now, I do know that Nebraska's much better. And I know everybody that hopped on the Matt Rule is not going to turn it around quickly bandwagon. Again, maybe this should just be I told you so Monday.
Yeah.
Because I told you that Matt Rule was going to turn that thing around, and he did.
In Nebraska, Homer on Twitter over the weekend is like, well, if we can just be 8-0 leaving the shoe, we're going to be number one seed, and we're going to be in the college football playoff. You're going to have to show me a little more before I believe you can beat Ohio State. Like, we're not going to play both sides of the fence where you're going to crap on Colorado and then say this was a quality win for Nebraska. Nebraska's clearly better, but this is still Colorado. It's still embarrassment's probably strong, but not a good offensive line. And it's just this whole situation where people want to go both ways with it. My only critique of what people are saying about Colorado is you can't have it both ways with your team. You can't say that Colorado sucks and they're overhyped and they're terrible and Dion sucks as a coach, and then say that Matt Rule is going to go to the shoe and leave the shoe 8-0 and you guys are going to win a national championship. You don't get to do it both ways.
No, you don't. And I would also point out that Prime and the boys at Colorado got to go to Colorado Springs to take on Colorado State. And that's not the easiest. That is not the easiest. That is not the easiest way to go.
Dad,
Honey, what's wrong?
I got in an accident.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to call an advocate, and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do? Or...
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day. And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
For those of you who don't know, Oklahoma State fired their coordinators yesterday. Yeah. Casey Dunn and Brian Nardo, offensive and defensive coordinators. They fired their coordinators, and now there is this Board of Regents meeting for, I believe it's tomorrow, a special. They're not going to fire Mike Gundy.
Yeah, we're not making any changes.
They're not doing that.
What changes have you really made? Like, hey, cool, you fired your coordinators, and I agree that needed to happen, and we'll see who you hire, because obviously it's always about who you hire when you're replacing somebody. But ultimately, if you bring in, let's say you make the best hire for both of those roles and you're just over the moon about it, is Oklahoma State competing for a conference championship next season? Is that? No. I mean, I have trouble thinking that.
The biggest issue that I have is in the hypocrisy that is in Casey Dunn taking all this blame at Oak State. Who's the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State? Well, Marty, it's Casey Dunn. No, it's not. It's Mike Gundy. Oh, but I love the argument that, Mike Gundy, he's a legendary quarterback. Bring him home to Stillwater, Marty. He's the offensive coordinator. And now you want him to go out and hire his former players to come back and be his offensive coordinator. You want guys with ties to Stillwater. I want the best guy that can, actually run an offense and develop a quarterback.
Yeah.
But wait, you don't have a quarterback that you can develop because Mike Gundy's the offensive coordinator and the quarterback guru, which he's not. You didn't make these amazing world-beating changes. You did the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You didn't set the world on fire and show that Oak State is in it to win it. You did the bare minimum. I again ask you, when Ohio State doesn't win a national championship and they fire Ryan Day, that's not doing the bare minimum. That's doing what needs to be done because you didn't win a national championship. You guys are pissed you're not going to a bowl game. Ohio State's upset that they didn't win a national championship.
How desperate are they to win a natty when they're looking at Urban, allegedly?
It's remarkable to me, the apathy and the low bar in the Big 12. Like, I cannot tell you how many Baylor fans reached out to me yesterday and were like, thank you, thank you, thank you. at least Baylor fans are upset that Dave Aranda is going to be the head coach for another year. At least that's their position. Oak State fans are like, well, hot damn, we're saved. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not saved. When Mike Gundy's not there, when the house falls out of the sky and drops on him, that's when you're saved. Right? Because I think this is the best example that I've heard. And I want to say that I heard it on 247. Oklahoma State fans have the Wizard of Oz syndrome. Oh, the good witch is actually the hero. I got news for you. The good witch killed everybody.
Yeah.
The good witch ain't the hero. I got news for you. Mike Gundy's the good witch. He just dropped houses on your coordinators. Right? Who like, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You're hoping that the Wizard of Oz leaves Stillwater so that Mike Gundy can bring in somebody who used to play for the Cowboys? Because you're worried if you bring somebody that's not in the family that they're going to leave for another job.
What is this, the mafia? Like, come on, dude.
It's remarkable to me that you can't see the trees from the forest and understand this league is mediocre because there's apathy across the board.
Yep.
I live in Salt Lake City and people are openly questioning Kyle Whittingham here. And y'all can hate on Utah, and I am certainly not a Utah apologist. Y'all can hate on Utah, but their fan base is not happy. And not the assholes on Twitter who everybody hates because they are what they are. The garden variety Utah football fan who's a season ticket holder and a Crimson Club member is not happy right now.
Right.
They're locked on to who this new offensive coordinator at Utah is going to be. That's a massive hire. Utah, who never fires anybody and hasn't for years, fired their offensive coordinator in the middle of the season. And you're happy that your guy fired his coordinators? They were fired in October, guy.
Yeah.
This is not world-changing
Yeah,
or
it's
life-changing.
not a massive thing.
It's not. It's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And you're all lapping it up and polishing Gundy's shoes. It's not good enough. It is not good enough in any way, shape, or form. It's not good enough. And it just is. The Big 12 frustrates me.
Yeah, because it's a frustrating ass conference.
Because I think that Brett Yormark's exactly right. And I'm going to play the bite one more time before we get to your comments. I think this heat in vitriol. Why isn't this in Stillwater? Why isn't this in Waco? Why isn't this in Fort Worth? You're getting your ass beat by SMU right now, TCU. Why are you not pissed? Why? Why, Lubbock? You're getting your ass beat by SMU. Abilene's not your biggest problem anymore. SMU's playing for a conference championship and you're irrelevant. Why are you not upset? Why do you not have this kind of heat?
The committee continues to show time and time again that they are paying attention to logos versus resumes. I've said that before. I want to say it again. And I say logos because they're concentrating on team logos and conference logos. Strength of schedule should matter. And wins against Power 4 opponents should matter. 74% of the Big 12 wins were against Power 4 opponents this season. Meanwhile, the group of five is 11-80. I want to say that again. 11-80 versus Power 4 teams this season. And in no way should a group of five champion be ranked above our champion. And I'm going to say that one more time. In no way should a group of five champion be ranked above our champion.
Where is that in no way should we go winless in a conference football season. We're Oak State. No way we should go winless.
In no way should we lose 52-0 to end our season.
I know where that vitriol is. It's in Columbus. In no way should we lose like this or ever to Michigan. Fire Ryan Day. In no way should we not play and win a national championship every season. Fire Ryan Day.
And you know what's interesting about the Ohio State thing? Because I think it's a great example. They don't give a damn about public sentiment. They don't care. Like if Ryan Day was and Urban's the best example. Excuse me, Pervin's the best example.
Pervin liar, please.
Is the best example of this at Ohio State and really in college football. But you're talking about a detestable human being in Pervin, and they're still willing to talk about him because he was the last guy who unequivocally just dominated that conference in Michigan. And
because all they care about is winning. Now, do I like that they're willing to throw their morals out the window and bring in Aaron Hernandez as college football coach to win more natties? I don't, but I get it. And I actually applaud it. I applaud their want to. I honest to goodness, I do. I wish anybody in the Big 12 had that. Hell, I wish my Notre Dame Fighting Irish had that. Because when we get railroaded out of the college football playoff, and we will not
will get railroaded.
We will not be winning games in the college football playoff. Let's just get that straight right now. When we get run out of the playoff on a rail, oh, Marcus, good season, little buddy. Good job. Really proud of you, dude. All right, we'll see you.
Do you want some tighter pants for next season?
We'll
bud?
see you in the spring. Good job recruiting, dude. And you don't, develop anybody on offense, but good job recruiting, little buddy. That's what we're going to get in South Bend. All the Catholics are going to be patting Marcus Freeman on the back.
Yep.
I wish we had fire his ass and bring back Lou Holtz.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Put Rocket Ishmael on the goal line and kick the ball to him. That's what I wish we had.
Yeah.
I wish anybody in the Big 12 had that kind of fire, and they don't. I wish the Big 12, I wish Oak State was like, hey, you guys think that Urban Meyer will take the job if we call him? That's what I really wish Oak State would say. Hey, do you guys think that Nick Saban, let's call Nick Saban and just take, do you think anybody in Stillwater's like, I know he's retired. He's doing a good job at ESPN, but shouldn't we call Nick Saban and let's just throw it out there. Have him say no. Have him say no. Right? And you're like, Monty, he's not going. I don't care if he's going.
It's not the point.
I don't care if Nick Saban's an absolute positive no thanks. Make him tell you no.
No, I'm not doing that.
Make him tell you I'm not doing that. But they won't. You're more worried about getting people in the family.
I just couldn't believe that yesterday. In the family. What are we doing, bro? Like, come on.
There is and I think Oak State James might be in this string. Oh, that's right. Zach has been an OC in the NFL. Not, when you look at the conversation. No. I'm more, yeah. Oak State James, and I should screen grab this because, and I love you, Oak State James. This is not personal. I'm not trying to call you out or,
but
it's about to get personal. I'm about to call you out, man. And I think it's a valid question that somebody in the Spotify comment section asked why we didn't have a best of Oak State James. It's a perennial underachiever over there.
Call me Mike Gundy.
Here is the face of Oak State football fan. Because Jimmy Johnson and Les Miles left, we need to go hire Zach. Because Zach. That's because Jimmy Johnson won games as a head coach at Oak State, left for Miami. We need to go hire Zachy Poo. We trust Gundy will be loyal. We want another cowboy to come in. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want the best offensive mind you can find. And who cares if he leaves in 2 years? Who cares? Because then, hopefully, if Zach, can't get the job, hopefully you're an attractive program which you're not right now, but hopefully you're an attractive program and coaches want to come and coach with you, want to be your offensive coordinator. But here's the problem. People don't want to work for a head coach who doesn't embrace NIL.
Yeah.
They don't want to work for a coach who routinely says stupid things, who calls out his players over their negotiations.
That's what I told the players. There's no negotiating now. Portal's over. All negotiations history. Now we're playing.
What was it about him, and just what did you like about what you saw from McGann and stuff?
Do you want me to go back into coach talk, or do you want me to tell you the truth?
The truth.
The truth?
Yes.
He was very inexpensive. Player retention's based on money. I'll give you an example. If you're playing on our team and we go 3-9, and right now you're making $12,000, and we say, hey, if you come back, we'll pay you $250. What are you going to do? Player retention is probably 90% built on money now, not other things. This place has had tremendous success for 18 and a half years, or 19. I can't do the math real good, and so unfortunately in life, most people are weak, and as soon as things start to not go as good as what they thought, they fall apart and they panic. And then they want to point the finger and blame other people. That you see it happen in everyday life. People do it all the time. That's why I refuse to watch the TV and watch the news, because I get tired of people complaining and bitching about this and that versus just doing something about it and trying to figure out a way to make it better. Well, that's what happens in college athletics. And as Jenny said, she's exactly right. It's just on the bigger stage where people can voice their opinion. And in most cases, the people that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills. They're not really trying.
Anyway, my point is there anybody now that disagrees with our favorite radio host?
I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. There's no point to, because this team is just hot ass.
Bro.
I mean, why don't you just hire a Pepsi cooler to coach the offense?
They're not really trying to change scheme-wise much. They're going to do what they do. And it looks like they're bringing him along best chance they get.
With Cam, do you go back and...
I mean, y'all can't. There's no way y'all can hear very good. I mean,
It's not easy.
It's like riding with
yeah,
the game.
there's got to be a
Plug, right? There it is. We got to get this thing out of here. Is it bolted down?
Please don't knock it over.
Does anybody have a tow truck out?
And you're telling me that's the guy you want being your head coach. Negotiations are over. Casey Dunn, you're fired. Any chance that they fire him?
No.
There's no way they're firing him.
No.
There's no way. And I'm not saying that him being personality driven is bad. But you're right. Hot ass.
Yeah.
That's what this program's all about.
Because this team is just hot ass.
The fact that you worked programming right there is elite material, bro.
It's wild to me. There's no way they fire him. Dev MC, this guy has no class. Christopher Shannon, they're not going to fire him. They're not going to fire him. They're not going to fire him. And
no,
I'm just going to continue to tell you guys. You'll know that they're serious about winning football games in Stillwater when they fire Mike Gundy, which is what needs to happen. The season's over. You didn't win a conference game. Don't go hire the offensive coordinator from the Falcons, Zachy Poo.
In the family.
Whack Mike Gundy and start over. It should be a job that's not hard to hire a premier coach. If you fire Mike Gundy, make your first call be Lincoln Riley. Go hire the enemy. Is Lincoln Riley a step up from Mike Gundy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
But the problem is you're not going to call Lincoln Riley. You're not going to call Nick Saban. You're not going to call Pervin Liar. You're going to let Mike Gundy keep his job. And when we're in the same situation next year, chances they don't win a conference game next year, slim and none. That when they're a 500 team next year,
yeah,
and you're calling for him to be fired, Zachy Poo ain't walking through that door. Why would he leave the NFL to come be an offensive coordinator in a damaged program?
Yeah.
Don't know why. Let's see. That guy is spot on. Now Oak State is hot ass. The plan is to bring in dudes in the portal and JUCO guys. Gundy will take a pay cut and now he's going to take a pay. So let me get this right.
So that makes it right.
So let me get this right now.
Yeah.
We're going to recruit with a coach who just took a pay cut. How's that going to look to the JUCO guy? How's that going to look to the 5-star guy? You're telling me that you're going to have Mike Gundy take a pay cut so Zach will take the job. And you think you're going to be able to go sit in people's living rooms with a lame duck coach who just took a pay cut? I love the $5. Thank you. But you got to think through this, James. Do you want to win games or not? Because if you want to win games, giving Mike Gundy a pay cut's the exact last thing you want to do. You have more money than Jesus Christ could ever create out of wine, and you want to give Mike Gundy a pay cut with the idea that that's good for the program.
We built this program on NIL.
No, it's not good for the program. Anyway. All right. That's wild. Gundy said later that some of those comments were wrong. Who cares?
Yeah, nobody cares.
Do you
like
James? Do you really think that recruits listen to Mike Gundy mea culpa when he said that who hasn't done that 1,000 times about Ollie Gordon's DUI?
Bro, you've got a highlight reel from just this season alone.
Do you really think recruits care that Mike Gundy said I was wrong to have said that? No, because they never heard him say that. What they heard him say is negotiations are over. That's what they heard him say. You got to get out of this. Oh, nice guy. Mike, can I pet the mullet? You're really good. Remember Brandon Whedon? Can tell me your Brandon Whedon stories, Mike? Who cares? Win games, man. Win games. Win games. I have thought about this. Gundy has done this before, and it turned things around. When's the last time he went 0-9 in conference?
When's the last time he won 10 games?
When's the last time he fired both of his coordinators? When's the last time? When's the last time you didn't have a quarterback on the roster? And that was while you were saying that NIL negotiations are over.
Hey, when's the last time Mike Gundy had a Heisman Trophy caliber running back? And then that next season, that guy was a nobody.
And if he transfers, if he leaves, yeah, I don't know, man. I get it.
I don't.
I totally understand it. You don't want... You should have respect for Mike Gundy. The guy's an icon. All I'm saying is when we look at this stuff, listen, I'm a Bears fan. I'm a Chicago sports fan, guy. If there's suffering in sports, I'm it. I'm it, man. I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs season ticket holder.
I knew today would be shitty.
You know what I got yesterday? I got a $2,200 bill from the Chicago Cubs for spring training tickets. You want to talk about taking a beating? That's taking a beating. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Marcus Freeman can't count to 10 against Ohio State at the goal line. I'm a Bears fan. Matt Eberflus won't call timeouts. And they almost didn't fire him. Trust me. When Ohio State fires Ryan Day for not winning a national championship, that's what I want my team to do. That's what I wanted Matt Eberflus fired after last season.
Look, they needed a few more hours to reevaluate the situation, okay?
Anyway, let's get to your comments. I appreciate you letting me espouse and lose my mind here on the Monty Show. The comment section, as always, friends, is presented by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy app. And again,
he was back at it.
Did I not tell you to take LeBron last night?
Bro.
24.5-point number. Right? We told you last night on Prize Picks. Use the promo code Monty. Download the Prize Picks app. Open a new account. Use the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more. And we've got Thursday Night Football tonight. But I do want to go back, and I know I tell you guys every day on this show about my greatness, my brilliance. Your wife tells you, hey, who's the good-looking guy on the TV?
That's bullshit.
No, it's not. She does say that. Anyway, the point is, I told you to take LeBron last night.
Dude,
I also told you to take Anthony
this
Davis,
is one of
which
the
was
worst
horrendous.
beats on Prize Picks I've ever seen.
LeBron James had a 21.5 point night number last night on Prize Picks. He had 29.
We agreed to take less on the show. We agreed to take less.
You're an idiot. I told you, dude.
No,
I
we
told you
took
to
less.
take points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
Right? Because he had a 36.5 point rebound and assist number. 29 points, 8 dimes, 5 rebounds.
After they lost by like 100.
Now, I also told you to take Anthony Davis, who had a 41.5 point number. No.
Now, here's the crazy part.
He gave you half that at 20.
Here's the crazy part. Anthony Davis on a demon for 4.5 assists won last night.
Yes, he did.
Had 5 assists.
Yes, he did.
I can't get Jimmy Butler to get me 19 points when his team won by 30.
I know.
Bro, like, what are we doing?
I know. I felt for you on that one.
What are we doing, bro?
Thursday Night Football tonight. Where are you at? Are the Detroit Lions the best team in? Are the Detroit Lions the best team in the
Eagles
NFL
right now? It's well, in the NFC, it's them and the Eagles. In the NFL, I don't think they're the best team in the NFL.
You don't?
No, I think they got to prove they can beat some of the AFC teams.
I think they're better than the Eagles. I think they're better than the Eagles. Sorry, I do. Detroit, Green Bay. I love Jahmyr Gibbs for 68.5 yards tonight. Go more on that. I think that's about as gimme gets. I also think there's an interesting Jordan Love number. He is on the regular 252 yards passing. On a demon, he is 299.5. He's not throwing for 299 yards tonight against Detroit.
No.
I have a lot of respect for that Detroit defense. We'll give you our picks coming up in 1 hour from right now. We'll do our NFL Thursday Night Prize Picks. So download the app right now. Get ready. Use the promo code Monty. Make a $5 deposit. They'll instantly give you 50 more in the Prize Picks app. Let's go into the comments section. In Oak State, James,
Okay,
I'm
here
going
we
to
go.
give you the runway to throw yourself in front of a train here. Runway and train don't really work. I'm going to give you enough track to throw yourself in front of an airplane. Wait, that didn't work either.
In front of a Buc-ee's.
In Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Our friends at Buc-ee's. Let me tell the truth. Oklahoma State, thank you for the music.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oklahoma State will continue to be bad until they improve their offensive and defensive lines. They've always had good skill players. Oak State got outplayed at the line all year. Mike Gundy has to go. And I am not fire the coach guy, but he's got to go.
Dude, James, bro.
Ollie Gordon's from Fort Worth. TCU will give him a ton of money. I guess we'll find out.
But negotiations are over. And,
negotiations are over.
Yeah.
But, hey, did you guys let me ask you something. Did you guys see LSU's day yesterday? LSU had a terrible day yesterday. And as a Notre Dame fan.
F around and find out.
As a Notre Dame,
yeah,
I am telling you, as a Notre Dame fan, it brings me great joy to listen to Brian Kelly struggle. You want to talk about paying guys? Listen to Brian Kelly, who got his ass beat in recruiting yesterday on National Signing Day. Listen to Brian Kelly whine about money in college football.
It's not just about finding the right fit academically. It's not just about finding the right fit where you can develop holistically and graduate and play for a championship. It's about what the most money I can get. And that's unfortunate. But it's the world we live in. And you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to realign and be prepared.
Now, we just talked about Mike Gundy. I'm sorry, Brian Kelly, you're the head coach in Death Valley at LSU, and did you just say you don't like paying players?
I want you to play the negotiating is over window bite, and I want you guys to listen to how remarkably similar the messaging is here from these two. When Mike Gundy, remember when this happened? This had happened. Well, I think it was in October, I believe.
No.
When did that happen?
This was at the end of fall camp. This was right before the season started, when he's talking about how negotiations are over. So let me get this right. You're the head coach at LSU and you're bitching about money, and you're the head coach at Oak State and you're bitching about money. What do these two guys have in common?
That's what I told the players. There's no negotiating now. Portal's over.
Right.
All negotiations history. Now we're playing football.
You can enjoy
just coaching and playing
new
football.
Conference and a 12-team playoff and everything being so different, just the newness of it all.
Yeah, and the business side of what we do now is we have to have those conversations with them. Tell your agent to quit calling us and asking for more money. It's non-negotiable now. Start again in December. So now we're able to direct ourselves just at football, and that part is fun because there's been so much other stuff going on. It's been hard to really focus on football.
So did you just say that not only do you not want the agent to call you, but that NIL money is a distraction to you, not a priority?
And then you have a guy like Deion Sanders that is, I don't even, like, you look at the way that Deion embraces the portal and NIL, and you look at Deion Sanders talking about, hey, red shirts and freshmen, and we need our guys to play. Deion didn't have a great day in recruiting yesterday. Dominant in the portal already. But what does Mike Gundy and Brian Kelly have in common? They're losers. Mike Gundy had a terrible season. Brian Kelly did not have a good season. And what are they both talking about? Portal. They're both talking about money and paying guys, and they're leaving.
It's not about getting an education anymore.
And then you look at Oregon State, and I know that this probably makes people crazy that I play this bite a lot. Here's the head coach at Oregon State, Trent Bray, being asked about how much money is in the collective in Corvallis, Oregon.
It's always a product and demand thing, right? What are some of the schools that are going to come after our players, going to offer them to try to get them in the portal? So you're always looking at that, and the collective and everyone's done a good job of continuing to raise the bar that way. But as far as an exact number, I couldn't give.
Well, just an estimate. Millions and millions, or do you?
It's in the millions, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have millions of dollars to spend, and then finally, I want to play this Deion bite because I want you to think about what Brian Kelly said. Oh, it's really unfortunate. It's all about money, which is in a recruit's head. Oh, he doesn't want to pay? Wait, he's not going to pay.
This is LSU, man.
LSU had a terrible day and lost major recruits to their competitors. And then you have a guy in Oak State and Mike Gundy who fired his coordinators. There's a Board of Regents meeting, so he may be getting fired, decimating his ability to recruit. And then I want you to listen to Deion Sanders right here from a recruit's perspective. And let's go high school senior. If you're a high school senior and you hear Deion Sanders say this, are you a guy that's like, yeah, I'm going to go play for him?
We get 25 high school players. How many is going to play that freshman year at the most? Let's say 4 or 5, right? And so now you got 20 guys redshirted. So when you go through that spring with that 20 guys redshirted, how many are you going to retain after that spring? Or how many are going to jump in the portal on you? Let's just do it. If any one of you want to go statistically and try to calculate this, I already done it. So it's going to be how many? Half. Okay, why don't I just focus on 10? Guys that can, see, when we grab a freshman, we expect that guy to play. We're not looking at, hey, man, we can just redshirt you, develop you. No. We're looking for you to come in and play some football. I don't give a darn if it's a walk-on, if it's a Cash Cleveland. We expect you to play. So,
dude, that's amazing.
Like, if you're not fired up about what he just said right there,
that's amazing.
I just don't know how you're going about your day. And
so
Yeah.
I just say all of this to frame it up a little bit. When we're talking about recruiting and winning and losing and keeping this coach and firing that coach, or the message during the season, every single time you sit up there and you talk about your team, the media is going to ask you about the Porto, Dabo Sweeney, talking about we built this program on Jesus Christ's name, image, and likeness.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
He's not winning in the portal and he's not winning in recruiting. When we talk about Deion Sanders and you vilify him and you hate on him and you say he sucks bro, that guy turned a program around quicker than anybody else said that they could.
Do you believe?
And why is it? It's because Jordan Seaton, the best left tackle in the country, is his starting left tackle this year as a freshman.
Yeah.
And I'd also point out to you, who's going to win the Heisman Trophy and who's the best player in college football? Travis Hunter, who Deion Sanders recruited to Jackson State.
And to that end, how does as a wide receiver, how do you put up your numbers? Oh, that's right. Your quarterback has to throw you the ball. And how can he throw you the ball? He's got to have protection. So, yeah, Travis is probably going to win the Heisman, but Jordan Seaton should be the one that's getting that love.
And how did you lose to Kansas? I don't know.
So the point is, you've got Loserville with Gundy and Brian Kelly and several of these other guys. Then you've got the other side of that coin at the head coaching level with Deion and Trent Bray and all the prolific recruiters in college football. And then you've got your Mark and Jim Phillips working to improve their conference's position in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And Mike Gundy wants to sit out here and tell us that it's over. And he wants to have the stance that NIL just isn't as important as it is. And that's why I'm telling you, man, this goes so much further, whether it's Gundy or anybody else. Hell, we didn't play it, and we're not probably going to get to it. But the Joey McGuire comments about the Big 12 and, Oregon winning the Big 10 and yada, yada, yada. Like, I appreciate that fire out of Joey. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I just think that at some point we have to come around to the concept that there are two schools of thought that are actively at play in the day-to-day. And one school of thought's getting their ass kicked and the other school of thought's benefiting immensely. And the guys who are not embracing NIL and the portal and this new age are losing in recruiting, which is why LSU today is the example. Think of whoever you want. It's why programs like LSU under guys like Brian Kelly are going to struggle in the new era.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. Please hit the like button. We've had well over 1,500 views on the program. We only have 38 likes. Please hit the like button. It helps the channel grow. Right here on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. I just don't take firing guys lightly. I don't think it's something we should joke about when we're talking about a guy's livelihood. But
the Gundy stuff is as clear as it's ever going to be.
I don't know how you do. Okay. Let's see. Boyd Lake, SEO King of America. Is that Jerry curl under that visor? Okay. I'm not sure what hairstyles have to do with it. Big Papa War Machine. The Baptists won't take this Methodist success next year. Paler will run the Bug 12. Okay.
Cool.
I'm very interested to see how Dave Aranda does, because I was looking at Big 12 recruiting numbers, and I think it's very, very school to school. Like Deion not winning, and I shouldn't say not winning. He lost 3 recruits that he was competing for that were 4- and 5-star guys. He lost 3 of them.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how a guy like Dave Aranda does at Baylor. I'm very interested to see it, because I think when you look at the success and the failure on the field, I think it's very difficult to make the argument that the bottom half of this conference had a big day. And then you look at Texas Tech, who I think had a very good day yesterday. Texas Tech had an exceptional day with a 5. The only school in the conference outside of Colorado to land a 5-star with 21 commits, right? Like, I think you look at the way that all of this plays out, the top 5 recruiting classes in the conference, Texas Tech, TCU, UCF, Kansas, and BYU, according to Star Rankings, which,
yeah.
But you look at the West Virginias. West Virginia had a very good day yesterday. Oak State did not. Oak State's 10th, 19 commits, 0 4 or 5 stars, 0. Utah, 12th, only 15 commits, but big in the portal, 2 4 stars. Houston, 13, Baylor, 14th in recruiting, Arizona, 15th. This Noah Fafita thing is getting interesting because there's no consensus on if he's staying or if he's going at Arizona. And last 12 commits, a 5-star and 3 4 stars, Colorado. So it'll be interesting to see if Deion's right.
Yeah.
Does he put guys on the field, and does he win with the guys that he puts on the field? I think it's a very interesting question. When it comes to wins and losses, I think it's very interesting. And I think it is going to be very important. This portal season, now that we have here, starting 4 days from now, December 9th, the portal opens. Let's see who's in and who's out and where they go. And does Ollie Gordon leave?
I don't know. Did Mike Gundy get fired?
How many guys are they bringing to Colorado?
Yeah.
Because he's bringing dudes. There's no doubt about that. And I think, and I see all the comments about Deion and Colorado and their recruiting. And I am telling you now that when you look at these, when you look at Julian Lewis and Chauncey Gooden, you look at London Merritt is a kid out of IMG Academy in Florida who's going to Colorado. You look at Card Smith, the offensive tackle, 6'5", 293. The guys that Deion Sanders landed in this class, pretty good. So for not having huge numbers, Deion Sanders did a pretty good job. And I'll be very interested to see how all of that plays out. And if we look at the number 1 classes in the country, Texas is the number 1 class in the country. Alabama 2, Georgia 3, Oregon 4, Ohio State 5. Where's the highest ranked Big 12 team? Like, you got to go all the way down to 23 to find TCU, right? So I think it'll be very interesting to see how all this plays out, for sure. Reginald Green for $5. I think Colorado will run the Big 12 in the future because of how he recruits and the staff he assembles. Deion Sanders has the best coaching staff in the conference.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this on the show repeatedly. The Warren Sapp revelation, as I have coined it, the job that Warren Sapp did on that defensive line, incredible. Absolutely incredible. I don't know how you... welcome to the nightmare. UCF did great without, I would remind you, without a head coach, UCF.
I also think you got to consider, though, with UCF, where they're positioned. They're in a place where they're going to scoop up all of the kids who wanted to be in the SEC and the ACC, and they're going to pick those kids up.
Yeah.
So they have that advantage.
Yeah, I'm amazed that if you look at the composite, if you just take every star grade and every ranking in the Big 12, it's called, the composite has TCU number 1. And listen, I would agree that TCU had a very good class. The composite rankings, the top 5 in the Big 12 are TCU, Baylor, K-State, Colorado, and Utah. So when you look at the total picture of recruits, and this is not portal, Colorado did pretty well. I still think Joey McGuire had the class that Joey McGuire landed. Tristan Gentry staying in Texas was a big deal, because I think Joey McGuire needs explosive offense, because I don't think he's ever going to have a tremendous defense. And I think getting Gentry to stay in Texas was massive. He also got Lloyd Jones, the quarterback, he's a young quarterback, huge deal. Like he had a really good class. And I don't think, again, like West Virginia, in my opinion, probably had the second best day in the entire Big 12. Now, you lost some dudes. There's no doubt about that. But getting Taylor Brown, you've got to be better on defense there. Getting Taylor Brown's huge. Jaleel Hall from Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania, huge get at wide receiver for them. So the schools in this league had good recruiting. Absolutely had good recruiting. Harry Austin, good morning from Red Ass Harry.
You know,
I mean, you earned it.
Yesterday was Harry Austin Day. Harry, always good to see you. Thanks for the $2. I've been told 60% of the roster at Oak State won't be there next year.
Okay, cool.
So now, and this is just I'm just asking
for a friend.
I'm just asking. All of a sudden, Mike Gundy's going to turn into Deion Sanders and lop off the bottom 3/4 of his roster? When has he ever done that? Outside of Gunnar Gundy. When has he ever done that? We'll see, right? Oak State has to fire Gundy. That's such a big... Yes, Harry. Money matters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I think that's exactly right. Midweek Coug. Ollie not going to OU if he wants to get the ball. No, he's not. Ollie Gordon needs to go to a volume running program.
Maybe he should go to Boise State.
It is still... Stop it. It is still beyond my comprehension that you did not hand that cat. You're not funny. It's beyond comprehension they did not turn around and hand him the ball 35 times a game, every single game. I don't care if he ran for negative yards every week. Hand him the ball 35 times. You don't have a quarterback you can trust. You had these great wide receivers, supposedly, who I think were mid, but you had an offense where you were throwing the ball with a bad quarterback, average wide receivers. Give him the ball.
Yeah.
I'll never understand that. I will never understand that in any way, shape, or form. I will just not. Mike Smith, Oak State will lose most of their starting O-line as they were all seniors. Well, attrition's a big thing. Keith Carl, hello. It's my birthday today.
Stay hard.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, buddy. I want nothing but fart jokes, roller dogs, loner phones, and blue cheese for the remainder of the show tonight. What loner phone? That sounds oddly familiar.
Yeah, you were looking at getting a new phone, right? That's
what you mean, because Apple loans phones when you is loner phone even here today? If loner phone is here, I will read one comment from loner because Keith Carl asked for it. Delaric, Ollie would have been better at SMU this year. Far better. Far better. I would go to Texas Tech. I would go. Hey, listen. If I'm Ollie Gordon, my first phone call is to Steve Sarkisian. That's where my first phone call is. I'm from Dallas, Fort Worth. Hey, I need to be in a high. If you're Ollie Gordon, and I am not exaggerating. I truly believe Ollie Gordon's the best running back in the country. I don't have any problem saying that. If he goes to Texas, he'll be the top running back selected in the draft a year from now. He needs that kind of profile. He needs Alabama. He needs Texas. He needs that place where he can go and be a stud and get the ball on a regular. Can you imagine play action fake from Arch Manning to Ollie Gordon?
I want it.
With that group of wide receivers? God damn.
Yeah.
That would be lit. That would be lit. Okay, loner phone is here. Your one comment today. You had one comment and you put sexiest. Okay. Hey, man.
Hey, good to hear from you, bro. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. I appreciate you being on the show.
Hit the like button, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you.
Kim Coulter with an important comment. This is real, and this hurts my soul as somebody who's a fan of the underdog. Joey said yesterday, in order to get down to 105, he has got to cut 18 players.
Yep.
That's also why he signed a smaller class. Average rating is actually second, solid day. And that's why I think you have to go with the composite. And I think I actually think that Texas Tech had a really good day yesterday. Again, Tristan Gentry was a must because that cat, and I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty certain that he was. I thought that he was looking at Oak State amongst others, but maybe I was incorrect about that. That I thought was really, really important. But you notice what you guys did. You did very little defensively in recruiting. It's all offense, athletes, wide receivers, linemen, tackles. Because what's he going to do for defense? He's going to get in the portal. But you know what, Kim? With that, I think you have to play the Matt Rule comment. Because what Matt Rule said is exactly what Joey's talking about.
Yeah, the roster limits are a real factor. I mean, it's just I can't imagine what's going to happen in the next 6 months. And if you're like a coach who's really cares about people, you're going to have to tell guys at the end of the season, like, hey, there's no spot for you here next year, so the guys can go and find somewhere else to go. And like, you have some players probably who are like, I'm not touching the ball enough, or I'm unhappy, and they're like, I'm going to go in the portal. And you think about the effect that's about to happen. The portal's already flooded. So we have 150, and we need to go to 105. That's 45 guys. Now, I know some seniors, but we'll add some guys. Just think about 20 to 30 guys from every school having to go into the portal, and the effect it's going to have on FCS, and then on Division II, and then on NAIA and Division III. It's going to be, so to your point, when Marquise and Jamari say, hey, we want to come back, that's 2 more people now that can't be here next year. And so it's going to be really, really, not just unique. I sometimes say unique. It's going to be a challenge.
I love the way he wears it.
Yeah.
I think it is really interesting to see the way that he so passionately wears the impact all of this is going to have on his players. I just think it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible to me that when we talk about portal and we talk about pushing down and roster limits, it's incredible to me how much passion is involved in this stuff with these guys. Mike Smith, he looks really stressed out. I totally agree. And I think that's a guy I want to play for.
Yeah, he went on later in that particular, it's not in the clip, obviously, but later on in that press conference, he had talked about how, he in addition to everything else he's doing, is now going to have to spend time calling around for all these kids and trying to get them a better spot, or a spot at all, frankly.
Yeah. Tom Dean, good morning to you. He says, fart, all hat, no cattle, 2 holes, soup, AZ time zone, bucked up. The pro rata we deserve. Exactly right.
That's great.
Ollie to Funky Town. Why would he go to TCU?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. The stadium guy, James, Mike, Oak State also brought in 5 linemen on signing day. Yeah. Jeremy Bolton, fire. Hello, Jeremy. Good to see you, my friend. Tanner Plummer, sup, gang. We still fighting over the college football playoff? We're not, in fact. Kalani was talking about this too. I think most underestimate the impact. I think this roster limit thing in college football is a big freaking deal. I think it is a big deal. A very, very big deal. And I don't know how you get around it. I don't know that there's a way to get around it. I truly do not. It's sad because there's a lot of kids who now they don't have room to play college football. Chris E., he's stressed out because Raiola is planning on entering the portal. Why would he transfer? He's their guy. I have not seen that, if that's in fact true. I don't disagree at all, Monty, as that's life in college athletics now. As a donor, I'm not a fan, but will always give money for us to fiend in the portal. Well, you need it. He very clearly is going to bring in defense in the portal.
Dad?
Honey, what's wrong?
I got in an accident.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to call an advocate and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do, or?
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day. And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
Bro, did you see God damn it. Kate, why do you have to do this to me?
Literally nothing in the comment about Mike Gundy, but just because Kay is a Pokes fan.
I'm not even going to describe this video. I'm just going to play it for you.
This place has had tremendous success for 18 and a half years or 19. I can't do the math real good, and so unfortunately in life, most people are weak. And as soon as things start to not go as good as what they thought, they fall apart and they panic. And then they want to point the finger and blame other people. That you see it happen in everyday life. People do it all the time. That's why I refuse to watch the TV and watch the news, because I get tired of people complaining and bitching about this and that versus just doing something about it and trying to figure out a way to make it better. Well, that's what happens in college athletics. And as Jenny said, she's exactly right. It's just on the bigger stage where people can voice their opinion. And in most cases, the people that are negative and voicing their opinion are the same ones that can't pay their own bills. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of their own family. They're not taking care of their own job, but they have an obligation to speak out and complain about others because it makes them feel better. But then in the end, when they go to bed at night, they're the same failure that they were before they said anything negative about anybody else.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
is there anybody at Oak State or any Oak State supporter who still is in Mike Gundy's camp? Are you out of your mind? He just attacked Oklahoma State fan. He just said, you're miserable in your life and that's why you're criticizing me. No, Mike, we're criticizing you because you haven't won a goddamn thing in the Big 12 this year.
True.
Facts. And you're going after garden variety fan who in that miserable job and in his miserable life saves up his money to make sure he can go to BPS to watch you play football.
Because this team is just hot ass.
And that's the guy you chose to go after you did your DUI thing at Big 12 Media Day, after you didn't punish Ollie Gordon, and he's been one of the worst running backs in the league. And your offense has been one of the worst offenses in the league. And your defense is now worse than your offense.
Google me.
And it's the blue-collar workers' fault for criticizing you.
Bruh.
What are we doing, Mike? Why are you talking?
Help me. Help me.
And again, I want to be explicit about this. This criticism has nothing to do with Oklahoma State per se. This we could be talking about, like, if Gundy coached any other team, my take would be the exact same. This dude talks too much and does not win enough. You have not won it. You have not been to the college football playoff. You have not been a serious Big 12 championship contender yet in modern day, probably 6-7 seasons, right? In the modern day college football playoff era, what has this dude done? I don't care about 2005 or 91, or I don't give a damn about any of that. This guy needs to stop talking and needs to start winning football games, or he shouldn't be your head coach. Like, I'm done with, it's Casey Dunn, or it's this dude, or it's that dude, or Bowman sucks, or Rangel's a freshman, or a young guy, or whatever.
Or Flores in my mom.
Yeah,
and, come on, dude.
like I'm done with all that, bro. This is a very straightforward conversation. This dude just criticized your fans, and he's done a terrible job this year. And you want to say that the fans are miserable and the fans are weak and essentially the fans are stupid, and that's the only reason they're criticizing you. It is anytime a head coach, collegiately or in the pros, is criticizing fans, you're in trouble. You're in deep trouble, because you're not saying, yeah, you know what? Like, you know what he should have said there? Hey, these fans, they should be criticizing us. They should be complaining. We haven't been very good. I haven't done a good enough job. That's what you should be saying, Mike. Not that their lives are miserable and they have nothing else to do and the media is biased against Oklahoma State. Like, it's just such a tired take, man.
I am shocked by it. And, we have not.
As a fan, what do you think of that, Sunbury? Like, and I'm genuinely asking you, man. Like, does that not upset you?
I don't even know how you I don't know. Fuzzy balls for $5. Congrats to the Florida State cinnamon rolls, who have gotten 0 takeaways for 6 consecutive games. Talk about a team quitting on an epic scale. Where did they go? Where did they go? I have no idea. San Diego State Glenny said the deplorables aren't paying their bills either. Wow.
You see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who are you?
And donuts. I've been waiting for a Gundy rant. Beautiful, Monty. Classic. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We do what we can. Daniel Dixon, he's making Oak State look like the old Iowa State when Iowa State was lucky to win 3 games a year.
Yeah.
You're
like,
not wrong.
how are you as a fan? And I'm serious. I'm very curious. Like, Oklahoma State fan, are you not in the Fire Mike Gundy camp at this point?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would make a move on him. After that, you don't attack fans. You don't attack the lifeblood of your football team. You don't do that in my belief. You don't do that in Survive. You just don't. You're attacking the guy that sits in the upper deck. That's the last flipping guy you want to go after.
Yes.
You don't do that. And you know what the real problem here is? And I'm going to play the video again because I think it's perfect today. Oak State fans are phenomenal. They're passionate. And what video perfectly illustrates that?
I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. There's no point to, because this team is just hot ass. They're terrible. It makes no sense. It's inexplicable. Casey Dunn, Brian Nardo are both equally as bad. Alan Bowman isn't good. Zane Flores is either hurt, he isn't any good, or Mike Gundy just hates us all.
Well, now Mike Gundy hates y'all.
He confirmed that.
And he confirmed it.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing. Obviously, dude's a media member, but you can tell he's got passion. Look at how huge his cheekbones are.
Yeah, that take is not wrong, though. That's the thing I have for Gundy.
I said, look how huge it... Never mind. Can I not get a reaction out of you on cheekbones?
Bruh.
What am I supposed to say to that, dude? What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, I don't.
But my point is,
agree.
Poke fans' take is not wrong. Like, Bowman is not good. The defense sucks. The offense sucks. Mike Gundy doesn't have control of his program. Perfect example. Yesterday on the show, I said that Joey McGuire at Texas Tech better have a backup plan or a recruit coming in to backfill Taj.
He better.
You'd have thought that I said that Joey McGuire is the worst head coach in Texas Tech as a poverty program based on the reaction of Texas Tech fan in our comment section yesterday. Like I got called stupid yesterday in our comment section for saying that.
But I mean, you are.
Yeah.
F around and find out.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do on a daily basis on this show. But it's just incredible to me that like Poke fans not just out here like, yeah, we're done. It's over. Like, thanks, Mike. Time to move along. Like, I'm shocked by it.
Yeah. Why do you say Glenn says it's a very interesting program today? Is that a compliment?
Yeah. What's up, Glenn?
I appreciate that. Hope everybody votes today. Do you understand the gravity of today? NFL trade deadline. We have got election day. Like it's everything you need. Make it happen. Glenn, good to see you, my friend. Michigan State should make a call to Ollie. Ollie's not going to Michigan State. If Ollie transfers, he's going he's a Texas kid from Fort Worth. My opinion is he's going back to Texas. And he should, because if he transfers, he's got to win. Period. That's it. That's the whole story. Michigan State's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd be all about that, in my opinion. Welcome to the nightmare. Gundy criticizing the fans is ridiculous. What he needs to be criticizing is his own coaching.
Yes.
Fuzzy balls. Are you a tennis player? Oklahoma State is trying to be like Kansas Jayhawks of the 2010s. Wow. Stadium guy James, Gundy is frustrated that his OC and DC suck. So do something about it. I've given up hope about Oak State going to a bowl. Well, now you have Baylor and TCU and Texas Tech. You're a fan of all of them, right? If the linebackers get medical red shirts, we'll be good. You're not going to be good. You're not talented. You're either not talented or you don't coach well. It's not a player problem. You need a massive change in coaching. And if you don't do Kalani when he fired his best friend as defensive coordinator and brought in Jay Flipping Hill, you don't make a move on that scale. If you don't go and get, look at Ryan Day going to get Chipmunk Chip Kelly with them huge acorn. Anyway, my point is, if you don't go and get Chip Kelly, if you don't go and get Jay Hill, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. Oh, wow. Wow. Jaden Mayava, the starting quarterback at USC. Wow. Miller Moss done at USC. 4 of their last 5 games, 4-5 on the season. Wow, wow, wow. Jaden Mayava, who, again, and we talked about this at length on the show. You remember that?
Yes.
He transferred to SC. He's a sophomore. So he could be the guy. Dude, that's huge. That is huge.
So there's two reasons as to why Lincoln would do this. Obviously, they need some kind of injection of energy, of course. But if you're Lincoln Riley, are you not trying to change the narrative, the conversation on your program right now?
Wow.
That's why I think he's doing this. I think that, I've been saying it all year. Miller Moss is not a special quarterback talent. Like he's decent, he's solid, but he's not like, I'm going to put you over the top, or my arm talent's just so incredible, or he doesn't have those intangibles as a quarterback. Now he's, again, a good leader. He's typically not going to lose you the game. But the problem is in college football, you need your quarterback to be able to go and win you the game. And he can't do that. He just has shown time and time again.
Yeah, I think it is very interesting to me that you look at the reaction to this, and I think you will see that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Boy, what a day of breaking news on this program. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
All our breaking news brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy app in the business. You guys, they still have the best promo. Monty Show listeners, you get the app downloaded on your phone. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new account at Prize Picks. You deposit $5, you get 50 more instantly at Prize Picks. Hook it up. It's awesome. I won again last night. Now, I would like to say my anger towards Tampa was misplaced on this show. Because I needed did you guys see what the long field goal in that game was last night? I know you guys, you don't watch football like Monty watches football.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I am that guy. Did you guys see that Chase McLaughlin made a 47-yard field goal last night? Okay. So I needed Buckcrack and McLaughlin, or Bucker. My bad. I mispronounced that jerk's name. McLaughlin and Bucker last night. I get Travis Kelce. I had him at 5.5 receptions. I went more. He had 14.
Nice.
Shake and Baker Mayfield, 1.5 touchdown passes. He had 2. I went more. Life is good.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
McLaughlin and Buckcrack, I needed a 48-yard field goal. One of them had to kick a 48-yard field goal. McLaughlin kicked a 47-yard field goal.
Embarrassing, dude.
I lost. No, I won because I'm smart. I took Monty's advice. That's me.
Hey, Monty.
Monty took Monty's advice and played a flex play. So I won $25 on it last. Look at all the SC people texting me.
Oh, God.
My guy Stan, who is a ridiculous USC fan. He gives, I'm not even going to say how much he gives. He gives tens of thousands of dollars a year to that program. Miller Moss isn't the problem. Fire that jackass.
Dude.
My other buddy Chad, who's a USC alumni. Honestly, I think it's a good idea to bench.
He has our full respect.
Fire that jackass.
I think the reaction is amazing.
Out of here.
One of the other people who shall remain nameless Miller Moss sucks, but not as much as Lincoln Riley. That MFer needs to go.
Dude.
SC fans are so pissed.
So I said, yeah.
And yet, this is why I say, like, as a Notre Dame fan, it pisses me off that Marcus Freeman is mid, because that won't get him fired.
It vexes me. Terribly vexed.
If you're an Oak State fan, how are you not on the same MFing level with
You ought to know. You bought it.
that MFer?
Fire that MFer.
I love it. That's what I love about the passion of sports. Anyways, download the Prize Picks app. Oh yes, I already have my my NBA pick. I won $90 on my NBA pick last night because I went all heaters. And I got to tell you, watching the Laker game, I just want to snap and break something, which is fine because the Lakers lost to the Pistons last night.
It's embarrassing.
Anthony Davis came through, though. I had him on a
Anthony.
heater at 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I took more, thankfully, because he had 50. He put up a 50-piece nugget. I hate saying nugget. He put up 50 last night. Anthony Davis I think he's the most valuable player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Jake convinced me to do something stupid. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Nebraska is adding former Houston and West Virginia head coach Dana Holgerson to the staff as an offensive consultant.
Juicy.
He'll work with the offensive staff in a role that will evolve as the season goes on.
There you go.
How many times have people on this show said Dana Holgerson's got to get a job?
Well, there you go.
Oak State fan, you should be pissed.
And they're better for it.
I would agree with that.
He's not a head coach, but he is a damn good coordinator if he becomes that.
I would agree with that. Jake convinced me to take Steph Curry 3.5 3-pointers made. He made 4. So now, and I feel almost stupid with this last one because the Jazz beating the Bulls is the worst loss of the season for the Jazz.
What's wrong with you?
The Jazz beating the Bulls was a huge loss for that team.
Terrible.
And I got emotional about my Chicago Bulls. But it paid off. Because Ayo Dosunmu last night on a heater was 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. My guy had 25, 5, and 5.
I think I've hit it every time. I mean, I'm almost like Notre Dame.
Chaboy won. Terrible loss for the Jazz last night, beating the Bulls.
Yeah.
135-126. The Jazz beat the Bulls in what amounts to the worst performance of the season for the Jazz.
Dad,
Honey, what's wrong?
I got in an accident.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna call an advocate and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do? Or...
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day. And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
When we look at big games, especially in the Big 12, and you start asking yourself, what's really on the line this weekend in the Big 12, in the SEC, in the Big 10? I think it starts tonight in Provo. And this BYU Oak State game, BYU is a 9-point favorite. 52.5 is the number. And in a shocking turn of events, Garrett Rangel is going to start tonight for Oak State. Are you surprised that they have benched Alan Bowman?
No, I'm not. I look, Alan Bowman is talented. You know, he can throw the football a little bit, but he's unimaginative. He's not creative. There's not explosiveness, in my opinion, in their offense with him. Now, that's not all on him. Obviously, we've talked so much about Casey Dunn and the play calling and, that part of it. So I'm not sitting here saying it's all on Bowman, but what I am saying is Bowman's not helping anything. And, this game tonight, I'm telling you, Mike Gundy, it's not lost on Mike Gundy that they're going to Provo to die. Like, you're going to Provo
I agree.
to play a football game that I'm just telling you, we're sitting in Salt Lake. It's like 40 degrees right now and pouring rain. Just telling you right now. So the idea that this game is somehow going to be some passing, display couldn't be further from the truth. What is going to take place in this game for both sides is running the football. And that's why I think Rangel is starting this game, because you need more mobility out of your quarterback. Now, I'm not sitting here saying Garrett Rangel is some, Lamar Jackson of a quarterback where he can just run all over you. He's not Avery Johnson, but he's more mobile than Alan Bowman. And I think for that reason alone, that's why he's getting the start, because Mike knows, hey, we got to be able to run the football tonight if we're going to have any chance. And we'd like to be able to run some RPO and have some more flexibility. And that's why I'm not surprised.
Well, obviously, you're going to have to run the ball tonight. And the biggest concern you have at Oak State is the offensive line is not pushing the pile. They are not creating lanes. I think it is a real problem. And I don't know how you fix that, because Mike Gundy, I think we all recognize that Mike Gundy, 2 weeks off, to prepare for this game. You feel like historically Mike Gundy's done well when he has time to prepare for an opponent. He has a history of turning things around. You have systematic issues in the run game. You have a guy in Ollie Gordon who doesn't look like he wants to, and you have an offensive line that does not push. Alan Bowman, I would agree, is a statue. He does not run the ball particularly well. Garrett Rangel, do you need a guy who runs better than he throws at BYU? I don't think you do. I would agree. It is going to be a weather game. The field is not going to be firm. I think you are still going to have to throw your way to a victory in this game tonight. And I think that BYU has an aggressive linebacking core that will spy Rangel to a certain extent. He's going to have to prove that he can be a game breaker. But I think it is going to be very difficult for Oklahoma State to come to Provo and win this game. I think the bigger issue for Oak State is they have holes all over that defense that they have not been able to fill.
Mm-hmm.
And BYU is moving in the right direction on the ground. I think you have Thunder and Lightning and LJ Martin and Rapati. I think you have the best wide receiver group in the conference and one of the best in the country. And it's all going to be determined by, can Jake Retzloff be accurate as a passer?
Mm-hmm.
If he can, I think BYU is going to win this game by 10 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm struggling with the confidence level in Oklahoma State to be able to score in this game. This is a home game, obviously, for BYU, which means they've got 30 points in this game. I think with pretty easy, execution. If you just do your job, I think you have 30 points in this game. And what I'm concerned about for Oklahoma State is those things you just said. Like, I'm not sure that Oklahoma State's going to be able to run the football effectively this game, or even just effectively enough to open up the passing game. And to me, this game has Oklahoma State turnovers written all over it. I think you're starting a kid in Rangel who hasn't played a ton this season, obviously. You're asking him to start in a hostile environment, certainly. You're asking him to play in a cold weather game, and you're asking him to come out and perform better than Alan Bowman.
9 takeaways in 3 games for BYU.
So
9.
I've got Rangel with a pick at least and 1 fumble for BYU. So 2 turnovers recovered for BYU. So to me, I think the 9 points is conservative. I think this is 31-17. This is more than a 10-point victory for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is going to be very interesting to see how physical BYU can be. I think that Ollie Gordon's got to have a breakout game. I can't believe that it would be tonight on a less than ideal field because of the weather. I mean, it is raining and snowing.
And you should note that it's going
Utah
to be windy.
right now.
It's going to be windy as well.
Yeah, there is a weather advisory in northern Utah, which does not cover Provo. But if there's a wind advisory and they're talking about between 30 and 50 mile an hour gusts, and 20 miles an hour sustained. You're probably half that in Provo tonight. So you're going to have 10 to 12 mile an hour sustained winds. Probably going to have 25 mile an hour gusts. It's going to be tough to kick. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to be explosive in the running game. I don't see how Oak State can. I don't have a way that Oak State wins the game.
Yeah.
BYU would have to be. They would have to regress completely on defense. Ollie would have to have a 200-yard, 250-yard game. And I just don't see BYU giving that up.
Yeah.
Not at home, not on a Friday night. The Rock is going to be loud. I mean, this fan base is going to be rabid. Everybody gets a Cougars hail during the game, and then when they get home. My point is, I think it. I like BYU 31, Oak State 21. That's my feeling on this game.
31-17. I don't think they score 20 points.
You don't think they score 20 points?
No.
All right, drop them in the comments section. Where are you guys at on the score of this game? Brandon Butler gives 5 Monty Show memberships. Let's go.
Sorry, a little late. My bad.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Look at that. Tanner Plummer back in the membership.
Now I got to ask a question just real quick, not to get too sidetracked. Tanner, do you really not know where the membership button is on the channel? Tweeting at me yesterday. Well, we're Monty, 2 holes. You have a membership level that's not the full boat?
We do.
You know we do.
Tanner, welcome back to the membership.
Yeah.
Gumby says 24-9 BYU. Okay. I like it. Justin Bemis. Tanner, BYU big win. Tennessee over Bama, Texas by 10. Okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay. The Rock is going to be rocking. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think it is going to be raucous. Gumby says Gundy's going to turn into a cowboy popsicle. Don't disagree with that. I think it's going to be Tanner. I'm fully expecting 2-3 turnovers forced by BYU's defense. Oh, sorry, I meant defense.
Right. See what he did there.
It's a defense. He says 35-17 BYU 7-0 incoming. Okay. Mike Rodriguez, Cougar Tail, the Zach Wilson special. That's right. Exactly right. It's fine. G off. Cougars 27-21. Most people are heavy. Charred cake, Perdon't by 3. I think Perdon't's going to fire their coach. What? No, I'll never say it the right way.
Hey, bro, can you re-comment but get the name right? Perdon't by 3. Would you mind?
Yeah. Daniel Dixon, BYU 42-14. I don't know about a blowout like that.
Yeah, well, I just think with the weather and the way this game's going to work, I just don't think 42 points is in the cards tonight.